And good morning. Welcome to Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First. I'm Stanton Salter, along with our odds maker Keith Fustel here on a little snowy Saturday morning as we have a big day here today at Laurel Park. 4 stake races. Santa is here right now getting pictures with all the kids. We have the $10,000 giving tree. I think today's 4 stakes are some of the best stake races we've had all year here in Maryland.
Nice job of the racing office, and see some newer faces in town.
Yep.
A trainer coming in with Ivy Bella horse in the Willow on
Yeah.
the move. Denzick I'm not familiar with, but is going to be well meant in that spot. So nice job by the racing office.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to the 2 Maryland Juvenile Championship races, and we have the Willow on the move and the Howard Bender. So lots to get to today. We have a great show, lots of videos, lots of interviews with trainers, but we have to call attention. You've probably seen it on the news out there in California, the lilac fire that severely affected the San Luis Rey Training Center out there. Please help them. They lost a bunch of horses, and it's heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. You see the amount of support out there led by the Strana Group. You saw an interview with Tim Ritvo on XBTV, the Strana Group, Santa Anita, Del Mar, everybody doing all they can. I think a lot of the horses from San Luis Rey went to Del Mar, and a lot of supplies, hay and feed and stuff for the people as well, the grooms. So please help them out. Go to the GoFundMe.com/thoroughbredcare page and help them out there at the San Luis Rey.
Just devastation and just a terrible scene. Some of the video just really kind of disturbing, but racing, family, community, that's what it's about. And these people are pulling together from not just in that region, all over the country, and it's good to see the support. That's, because it's going to be a trying time, monetarily, mentally, for those people. It's tough.
So help them out there at the San Luis Rey Training Center in California. We had an isolated incident a couple days ago here. Our whole team did a great job of containing it. Rest in peace, Papa Portmore. He was a cool horse. We remember him. I bet on him a few times, and sad to see him go. Our team did a good job taking care of that situation.
Yeah, it's tough. It's very fragile, and we see how it is. But really, to see how they've reacted, not just here, out in California, hats off to everybody involved in this whole process.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get right to it here today at Laurel Park. A little snow behind us, you see. Let's show you the weather. Just a little dusting gives us a nice picturesque winter setting here. I think this is going to clear out of here pretty soon. There's the weather in the 30s, snow. Main track is fast. And all races on the main track here today. We have a nice little carryover in that pick 6, over 2,600. I have a ticket for that. That starts in race 4. I know you like the middle pick 4, which starts in race 4. And race 4 is the first of 4 stake races we have today. That's the Maryland Juvenile Championship. All right, let's get right to it here in race 1. Race 1 is going to kick off that early pick 5. Your pick 5 is always your best bet here at Laurel Park with that industry low 12% takeout. Early pick 5's a mandatory payout. Starts here in race 1. We're going 6 furlongs. Maiden claiming 16,000. Filly and mares 3 and up. And I had the 2 on top, but the 2 My Chessa Charm is scratched. So I end up on the 6 Go Danica from the Marco Salazar barn. Elvis Trujillo will ride. This horse had a decent debut on the main track back in August. Had some speed that day. Finished 4th. He's been on the turf mostly since then, a decent 3rd last out, going long on the turf in November. Now he's cutting back in distance, getting to the main track. I hope his recent good form on the turf can transfer to the main track today.
That distance race might just be the key for Go Down. I think it's going to be first-time blinkers on the dirt, so she may go ahead and set sail from the outside in the short field. I know we've got a lot of stuff ahead of us. I think unnecessary drama. Moving from the outside post at Charlestown to the inside will be the key for this horse. Second-time sprint after that mile in a 16th race in Indiana. Ron Potts trying to kind of get hot here. He's had a little struggle getting on the board, but unnecessary drama, and even when it rains. I don't see too many times where I pick a Charlestown horse that ran our last race at Charlestown 1-2, but I've got it in here. But Go Danica, your top choice, looks like the one to catch. Let's go to race 2.
Let's take a look here at the second. Race 2 is going to kick off the early pick 4, and you have a nice 2, 3, 4, 5. A nice stake race there in race 4. Part of this early pick 4 sequence. We're going a mile and a 16th here in the second, claiming 10,000 3-year-old 7-year-old fillies or older filly and mares, never won 3. We have a stat here for trainer Kieran McGee. He has the 4 Shackle Me Good. Rider change on the 4 Shackle Me Good. Make it Georgie Vargas Jr. Let's take a look here at the Kieran McGee stat.
Pretty good stat here. Kieran McGee over the past 2 years, 10 for 27. That's 37%, and 19 for 27 in the money with filly and mare dirt runners dropping 50% or more in claiming price. ROI, that's the problem. Only $1.65. Wins a lot. And this horse, I don't know if it's going to be a real single. I think the road is going to go through her. Shackle Me Good is the speed. Hashtag selfie, though. A big improvement last time out was shown the ability to rate, something she really hasn't shown, and she actually dueled inside of another rival in the worst part of the racetrack and was able to kick clear. Kind of, this reminds me of the race yesterday with Karen. That Ice-T is the speed,
sure.
and was it One Proud Wildcat for Claudio was the stalker. Just couldn't catch Ice-T through the stretch. Maybe a very similar situation in race 2. But Shackle Me Good dropping down, has won 3 races, is going to be on the edge. And as we saw, for those of you who haven't watched the signal maybe for the past couple days, the track was very, very fair yesterday. Yep. The rail was fine, so a good job by the track maintenance. They've kind of evened this surface out. Which is going to test the riders a little bit more now. Yeah, no more just saying, "Oh, get to the 4-path and go."
Right.
No, you're going to a little more strategy to be involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, Shecor had a nice win up the rail yesterday. The McGee barn with 2 winners yesterday, so they're off and running here this weekend. 2-4 for me here in the second, 4-2 for Keith. Let's take a look at the 3rd race. Going a mile here in the 3rd, claiming 11,003 and up, wide open. I go with the 1 Matador with the leading rider, Javion Toledo, aboard for trainer Jamie Ness. Last time at this level, a decent 3rd going long here at Laurel back in early October. He stepped up to the Open 15 claimers the last couple races. An okay 4th last out on the main track when it came off the turf. Now a little bit of a drop today. So we're 0 for 3 here at Laurel Park, 0 for 5 at this distance, but I'll believe in Toledo and Ness here with the 1 Matador.
I do. This little slight drop in class is going to be just enough. Now the field kind of decimated a little bit. We've got the 2 scratch, the 3 scratch, and the 6. Take out the 2, the 3, and the 6 in race 3. Percy, here's Johnny. Not a lot separating them if they both decide to kind of go. They're very similar styles. Right to the front are stalkers. Breaking down the internals, they're fairly close. I think Matador can just kind of get up to a good stalking position in this shorter field. And he's going to need a well-timed run. He kind of likes to flatten a little bit, but I think he can get by the speeds. Risky Guy is a stayer. I think that he gets definite class relief off of those starter races.
Absolutely. Risky Guy, cool old 7-year-old campaigner, 5-time winner here at Laurel. All right, let's get a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the stake races this afternoon here at Laurel Park. Race 4 is the first of 4 stake races we have for you. I have a pick 6 ticket right after this.
At ExpressBet, we celebrate the champions who make horse racing great. That's why we provide more ways to bet from more places than ever. We've built an entire family of brands to support horse racing, to give players more of the rewards they deserve, give bettors the information they need to win, and provide a community for horse bettors. Because the best way to support the champions of horse racing is to champion horse racing. ExpressBet, we are racing.
Okay, welcome back. Today's race is presented by Fidelity First. Keith Feastel, Stan Salter here, getting you ready for our $10,000 giving tree and 4 stake races we have this afternoon. I think it's a great card. We have a little carryover in that 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. They hit it last Saturday for over $14,000. I think it'll be well played today with this carryover, and we have 4 stake races in our Pick 6 sequence today. Let's take a look at my Pick 6 ticket. I'm going to spend a little bit more today, a $60 ticket for me. I think some of these races are wide open. I'm going to go 5 deep here. It's a 6-horse field in this male and juvenile. I think we have some very nice horses. I'm going 5 deep here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then race 5's a claimer, just going 3 deep in there. The 3, 6, and the 9. Race 6 is the Willow on the Move Stakes. Trainer Claudio Gonzalez with 2 in there. I like the line, one of his runners, Line of Best Fit, my top pick. My Magician's going to be tough in there as well. And then you have a few other runners in there as well. Ivy Bell's going to be very tough. And on the outside, Miss Locust Point. So I'm going 4 deep here in the Willow on the Move. Race 7, I'm going to single on this 2-year-old filly. I think she's a special filly for trainer John Salzman Jr. Limited view, looking for her 2nd stakes win in a row here at Laurel Park. She's a perfect 3 for 3 here at Laurel. She gets the Hall of Famer Edgar Prado. I'll single on the 6 limited view there in the Maryland Juvenile Filly Championship. That's a big field. What a race that's going to be. Let's take a look at race 8. Race 8, the Howard M. Bender Memorial, 6 furlongs. I'm going 5 deep in that race. My top pick in that race, Keith, the one, Noteworthy Peach, coming off a 13-month layoff, gets the lead rider, Jevion Toledo, aboard for Gary Capuano. I think Noteworthy Peach has a shot to blow it up there in the Howard Bender, but it's a very tough race. Lewis Field, Showalter, It's the Journey, your very deserved favorite. And then you have Sunny Inspired. Sunny Inspired is a wintertime horse.
Yeah,
he likes the cold
yes,
weather.
He does.
He's a stakes winner here at Laurel Park, coming off the layoff for Phil Schoenthal. I think the 9, Sunny Inspired, with a big shot in the Howard Bender. And then I'm breaking a cardinal rule of mine. I never like to single in maiden races. I never like to do it. But I think Claudio Gonzalez has an absolute mortal lock in the last race today. The 6, Nico Bree and TJ, going to be a popular favorite. I think much the best, Joe Torres is aboard. So keying on the 6 there in race 9. You like the middle pick 4.
I do.
Starts here in this race. Let's take a look here at your pick 4 ticket.
Yeah, we'll roll through it. $30 play. 4 and the 6 to get you started. Cordmaker and Clever Mind in the Juvenile Futurity. Then we're going to go spreading 5 deep in race 5. I think that's a really tough race to get through. 1, 5, 6, 9, and 10. 3 deep in the 6 with the 6, the 7, and the 9. In the 6th race, in the 7th race, the 10 and the 11. We're going to end it with Frechette and Steamy Hot. I'd like to put in Limited View, and I'd like to add Margie's Money, who scares me, and maybe even Vente to go. But we've got to keep this reasonable. A $30 play for your middle pick 4. Let's get rolling here, though, Stan, in the Juvenile Futurity.
Oh, yeah, if you can beat the favorite in the Philly race, you have a nice ticket. Let's take a look here. Race 4. What a nice race this is. 4 Maryland-bred 2-year-olds, Maryland Juvenile Futurity, $100,000 per 7 furlongs on the main track. I think the 2 Maryland Juvenile races this year, some of the best races we've seen for Maryland-bred 2-year-olds in a long time. My top pick in here, the 4, Cordmaker. First, let's show you a video spotlight, though, of the favorite in this race, the 6, Clever Mind. What a very impressive debut performance here in the Maryland Million Nursery.
How about it? Kind of broke a step slow, then forced in at the break was Clever Mind, making his debut in the Maryland Million Nursery. At 7-1, he got away by that new stallion, Buffum. And you're going to see this horse. Clever Mind rode the rail, rode the negative part of the track for the first 3/8 of a mile and kind of moved up within himself. And when jockey Juarez shifted his horse out to about the 5 or 6 path, turning for home, man, he really leveled off nicely under a strong hand ride, pulls the stick out there late, goes on by with about a 16th to go, just kind of flashed the stick and moving clear. And reading some of the press releases from Dave Joseph and the rest of the guys that put those together, looks like, Graham really kind of rushed this horse a little bit to kind of get to that race.
Right.
Something he really didn't want to do. Now this horse is given a little bit of time to recoup. LASIK's going on, and here's your stat. Over the past 2 years, Graham Motion, 5 for 12, 9 for 12 in the money, with runners getting first-time LASIKs following a win. There's your ROI of $5.26. You talk about Irish War Cry, a horse on the scene last year for Motion. When he got the LASIKs first time, he improved 18 points when he went from the stake up here, the Marylander, to the Holy Bull down at Gulfstream.
That's a strong stat.
This is
a big strapping, good-looking colt with a big stride. You saw that stretch run there in his debut. He gets to Hall of Famer Edgar Prado today. He'll get a beautiful trip on the outside in the clear.
And I think the key there, Stan, was he ran down the lone speed. Jamaican Don, who we're going to see again.
Yep.
They had other chasers. Not like he had a duel setting things up. He was able to run down the lone speed.
I go with the 4. I respect the 6, Clever Mind. You have to respect him. I use him in the exacta. But the 4, Cordmaker, this is a real nice 2-year-old by Curlin, $150,000 sire out of the Polish numbers mare, Tanka. All the siblings for this horse have won. It's a very nice family. He's a half-brother to Corvus, who made $120,000. He had a very impressive win against Open Maiden Special Weight Company back in September, and then a very good second against a strong allowance field going a mile back in mid-October. You could make an argument that an open allowance level maybe similar to the Maryland Million Nursery, and now Cordmaker's been rested and freshened since that mid-October race. He's going to get blinkers on today. Rodney Jenkins, a respectable 25% when he puts the blinkers on. This horse looks look at the work tab. I'm very impressed at the work tab. A couple bullet works coming into this race, and then a nice slow maintenance 5 furlong workout recently. Steve Hamilton will ride. I think the 4 Cord Maker by Curlin makes a big step forward today, coming off this freshening, getting blinkers on for the first time.
I like this little turn back. It's kind of like the Mary Epler horse I like later, Steamy Hot. Cord Maker the same. Had a ton of horse, the 2-back try, and when breaking the maiden, when kicking clear, turning back in distance, the blinkers going may lay a little bit closer. This horse is going to have to run, though, a little bit faster than what he's, look, some of these other horses still having fun. Clever Mind, they're going 10 and 3 on similar types of racetrack. Cord Maker will have to improve, but as you say, he hints at there's still more to, in store for him.
How about Jamaican Don? Is Jamaican Don lone speed in this race?
He certainly looks like it. I know Motion said expect a little bit more speed maybe out of Clever Mind, but when you break it down, Jamaican Don looks like he goes to the front. Got away a little slowly at Mahoning Valley, was still able to get the lead and hold sway. But I think they're going to be converging at him maybe a little sooner than what they have.
Yeah, the 7 furlongs, a definite question mark
Yep.
for Jamaican Don. We have to talk about a couple other horses in this race. Whirlin' Curlin. How about this 2-year-old son of Curlin? He put it all together last out when he got to a fast track for the first time. That was a very impressive win. He was much the best in the Christopher Elzer Memorial. Got a strong 62 buyer. This guy's by Curlin at a Lexington girl. Makes him a half to Lexington Street, who's a stakes winner here at Laurel Park. You get the leading rider, Javion Toledo, at 10-1. They blew it up last out at 23-1. You'll get a nice price here on Whirlin' Curlin. He looks like Curlin. I think the sky's the limit here for this horse.
This is a good group, solid group. You didn't even mention the 2 horse still having fun for Tim Keefe, who's visually one of the strongest races I've seen in a while out of a 2-year-old. Broke in, hit the gate, made a strong move in hand. Drifted in a little bit late, but look at the final time, 10 and 3, just dusted Nico Breen TJ, who was the favorite in that race. And Nico Breen TJ was behind Clever Mind in that Maryland Million race, but you keying up the similar horses, still having fun.
It's a nice race.
Comes back with a good work,
I go 5 deep here to kick off my pick 6 in the Maryland Juvenile Fraternity. Let's take a look here. Race 5 is going to start. The late pick 5, no carryover, paid huge yesterday. The late pick 5 over 5,000. Always that industry low 12% takeout for you, though. That's more money back to you here if you hit the pick 5. Let's take a look here at race 5. 5.5 furlongs claiming 16,000. 4 3-year-olds are up. Never won 3. We have a video spotlight here on the 5, Mr. October from the Kieran McGee barn. Georgie Vargas Jr. will ride the 5, Mr. October.
Yeah, Vargas picking up the mounts for Gonzalez today for Kieran. And this horse got bumped around a little bit at the break and had to steadied again into the turn. You see him in between horses with the blue cap coming to the quarter pole in about 5th, about in the 3 path. You see turning for home. They're a light steady as well. Top of the stretch, drops to the worst part of the racetrack. That's good enough, guys, and fades away. This 5th race is going to hold the key for a lot of bettors this afternoon in your multi-races. This is a really evenly matched field, a lot of different ways to go. I'm going to try to upset the apple cart with a trainer that's going for win number, 4,000?
That's right, Jeff Runco. One win shy of 4,000. He has 2 shots here today at Laurel.
I like it. The last race at Charlestown's good enough for me. Zen Papa, or horse we've seen run around here, Open Company, comes out of those are pretty salty races, those Open 12s, those optional claimers, I should say, at Charlestown, going 4.5. He's won at this distance before. There's plenty of speed. I think he's got enough tactical speed to move up and get into position. And I'm not worried about the rail if it plays like it did yesterday.
Sure.
I think he can kind of stalk and make a move, find a seam, maybe upper stretch, and get it done at a price.
Yeah, I overlook him a little bit here. 3-year-old by Algorithms, taking advantage of the dual condition. He's won 3 races already. I guess I was a little concerned about the inside post, but the way the inside was playing yesterday, the one with a good shot in here. I'm only 3 deep in this race on my pick 6 ticket, so I'm a little worried here. I'll go to the outside here with the 9, Big Slick, coming off the layoff for trainer Gina Rosenthal. This horse, you see no claiming price for this horse. That means he's in for the waiver, so he's protected coming off the layoff here. He's a 3-year-old that's won 4 races, a 3-time winner here at Laurel Park. That was a good second last May against Open 15,000. Claimers, you see a bunch of works on the work tab. Nothing, a nice 5 furlong work back in late October, and then a couple 6 furlong works since then. So he should be ready to go off the layoff. The 9, Big Slick, my top pick here.
Yeah, he should be. The only thing that worries me a little bit, there's some breaks in those works. They're good works, but there's a little bit of break with those. And if this track was playing, if it plays like it did a month ago, he and the 10 are going to relish the speed that's in this race and kind of make those circling kind of runs. I think both of them are a threat, as well as Mr. October on this drop. This is a wide open affair. Race 5.
All right, let's turn the page here. Race 6 will kick off the late pick 4 and races 6, 7, and 8 stake races. So it's an exciting late pick 4 sequence here this afternoon at Laurel Park. Race 6 is the Willow on the Move stakes. Filly mares 3 and up. This is a wide open stake race here for 100,000, 6 furlongs. We have some runners in here. Let's start here with on the video spotlight of the 9. Miss Locust Point coming into town for trainer John Service today. Gets Georgie Vargas aboard. Here's the race from late December last year when she was 2.
Yeah, the Gin Talking, where she really was. I don't want to say a coming out party. She ran great up at Parks, but boy, just demolished this field by 4 1/4. Internal fractions 45 and 3, 9 and 3, 22 and 2, just off the rail. Just kind of dictated with Vargas, a little green there through the stretch, leaving the 3/16 pole. Kept the pressure to the wire. A gaudy number for a 2-year-old filly. He's running 86 around here. You don't see that too often in this neck of the woods. She went down the Gulfstream, failed as the favorite. Something went amiss, it looks like, down there. We haven't seen her for a while. She came back. Now, she didn't beat the strongest group at all. I look back at those races. She kind of prompted a 60-1 and a 30-1 before opening up, and she was fully extended to the wire. But is she going to benefit off of that race? I think she takes advantage of this position to the outside. There's not a lot of speed. I think she can control it up front.
Trainer John Service shipped down here with a couple winners so far this fall, so I respect the barn and the horse. Will should get a nice trip on the outside. I used a 9 in my top 4. I go with the 6 on top here. Line of Best Fit, 7-year-old mare. She's made over 600,000 in her career. She's the class of the race here. Elvis Trujillo rides for our leading trainer, Claudio Gonzalez. This horse third behind Songbird this past summer in the Grade 1 Del Cap at Delaware. Nice win coming off the pace, going 7 furlongs here at Laurel back in September in the Shine again, and then an okay 4th last out at September. Now first start here in the Claudio Gonzalez barn. He's 30% with new runners in his barn. We called up with Claudio a couple mornings ago. He has 2 nice horses in here. Line of Best Fit. Don't forget about My Magician. She's coming off a stakes win in the Geisha last out, going a mile. He has 2 very nice mares in this race. Our leading trainer, Claudio Gonzalez. Here's what he had to say about the Willow on the Move.
My Magician is the position I don't like too much, Position 1, I never like it, But she doing good, and it's no easy race. It's couple fillies come from New York, one and Kentucky. That 2 fillies very nice. But she doing good and line fit too, She's new, she breathes like a really good filly, Okay. And she doing good. She do everything professional, like a professional filly. Both doing really good.
All right, there's our soft-spoken leading trainer, Claudio Gonzalez, but he gave you a couple good nuggets of information. First of all, I'll talk about my top pick here, the 6 Line of Best Fit. The work tab looks pretty nice. A nice bullet, half-mile work late November here at Laurel. Decent 48, half-mile work December 1st. Claudio very high on Line of Best Fit, 2-time winner here at Laurel Park. You pick a third. You like a little bit there.
Both of his horses are alive. I think the biggest downfall or thing that's going to hurt him maybe is the lack of pace within this race. So at 7, maybe a little bit better spot. But, I mean, both of them are in sharp form right now. Maybe the one a little bit better than the 6. The 6 is fresh and, as you say, working well. Expect a big effort. But what about the shipper, William Denzik Jr.? Denzik Jr. Don't know a whole lot about this barn, but I tell you what, this filly, doesn't matter where she runs big.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what a nice horse this would have to own a horse like this. She's 10 for 14 in the money, 4 wins. She's made over 230,000. She hasn't been off the board since Santa came here a couple years ago. She'll get a nice trip breaking from the 7 hole with Brian Hernandez. I like her, and Claudio, the 2 horses he's worried about in here, the Kentucky shipper, that's Ivy Bell, and then the New York shipper, he might have been talking about Fear No Evil or Miss Locust Point. Ivy Bell should get a nice pick in here. I go 4 deep on my pick 6, using the 1, 6, 7, 9 here in the Willow on the Move.
It's a good little race. I think Miss Locust Point, if she's can move just a little bit off of that return, awfully tough. But Ivy Bell, I mean, she's had trouble. She kind of finds trouble. Unfortunately, 2 races back looked like she was in a winning position. Clip heels and fell. Bothered her to break last time. A little bit of slow gain. Overcame trouble at Mountaineer. Lovable lady. who won this race last year, was fourth in there. So if you want to key up some horses, there you go. So she shows she belongs here and will be top.
All right, nice addition of the Willa on the move to kick off the late pick 4. Here we go with perhaps one of the races of the day. Race 7 is the Maryland Juvenile Filly Championship for Maryland-bred 2-year-old fillies. $100,000 purse, 7 furlongs on the main track. This is going to be a big task for a bunch of nice fillies in here. Only one scratch to 5, Oh So Lovely.
Right.
So a very talented 10-horse field here in race 7. We have a bunch of stuff to show you. Let's start here. Video spotlight of the favorite here in this race, the 6 Limited View. What a performance this was last out in the Maryland Million Lassie. Here's the start.
Oof. Poor break, no doubt. A little bobble, a little duck out, and like almost a veer out to the outside. Philly almost came to a standstill. He had to get her straightened out and corrected. We're going to see this one more time. Great job for Prado just to stay on. I mean,
she made a right turn coming out of the gate.
Absolutely. But really got her to relax nicely, well back, some 13, 15 lengths off the pace as they head down the backside. But this horse circles up nicely into about the 5-path, turning for home. And, boy, she levels off into a really good stride. Now, listen, the final time, not super strong, I understand. But what she had to overcome and the moxie she showed to overcome all of that was super strong. And it gets control. And she's really not really all the way into her at all to the wire. Confident, wins it by about 3/4 of a length, stretching out to 7 furlongs. But even the race prior, another race, a little bit of problem at the break. I don't think she can give that away today to this group. Well, 7 furlongs.
We caught up with trainer John Salzman Jr. a couple mornings ago here at Laurel Park. He's been one of our top 2-year-old trainers around here for a long time. Of course, his father, John Salzman, one of the top 2-year-old trainers of all time, trained Extra Heat. We talked to Salzman about Limited View. He's done a lot of work with this filly. She's very talented, a little hard to manage. I had to scratch her in the paddock one race up there at Saratoga. She washed out and had the gate issues last out in the Maryland Million Lassie, but she has a lot of speed. Salzman says she's best running at a target, but he's thinking she's going to break sharp today. They've done a bunch of work with her at the gate. Prado's been on her for all the works. Here's what trainer John Salzman had to say about his very talented Freedom Child filly, Limited View.
She's doing super. We're getting a little further away than I would want to be because we're having trouble keeping her. You know, she's really sharp right now. But we've had her to the gate 4 or 5 times, and we've had no issues over there. So hopefully that was just a one-time thing. I still don't know exactly what happened, but she's doing super. She's worked perfectly. Egger's been on her every time she's worked. Everything so far, knock on wood, is good. I think she is better off coming a little off the pace because she loves to run at horses, so she's more up on the bit and everything when she does that. But Egger knows her as well as I do, so if she breaks sharp, and I don't want him to fight her by any means to get her back, but if she's laying close, I'll be tickled to death to see her laying 3rd or 4th down the backside.
Okay, so they've done a lot of work with this filly at the gate. Prado's been on her for the works, and Saul's been hoping for a sharp break today. Should get a nice, and if she does break sharp, she can go to the front if she wants. She has that early speed if she wants, but hopefully she'll get a nice stalking trip with the Hall of Famer. Edgar Prado is about, 15, 16 wins shy of 7,000 career wins.
Yeah, and Limited View, you saw the speed in the debut.
Sure.
Sharp number, really ran fast, a 68 bar with something left in the tank, was really just striding away nicely in that debut run. I see this 3/4 work. That's another thing you don't see a lot. So she's taking in the morning, no issues there. They've got her, I'm sure, fit and ready to roll. And if she comes out running, it's going to be tough on this group if she breaks correctly.
It's a talented field. Let's take we have another video spotlight here of a 14-length winner last out. Let's take a look at Steamy Hot for trainer Mary Epler. She's going to get Horacio Caramanos to ride. This was a big win late October going a mile here at Laurel.
She protected her with the waiver in these Maryland-bred maiden races. I mean, the maiden 40s, I should say. Took a little play in debut. Little trouble, rushed up, a little fade, stretched out to the mile, stayed inside and was confidently handled by Caramanos on the 1-turn mile and was on the worst part of the racetrack till about mid-turn. And when he got her to the outside, boy, she really responded and drew away emphatically 14 lengths. Field not like this field she's going to face today, but owner, Lenny Pinot, Triple Tree Stable, and Mary Epler, they just don't wish and go in on a wing and a prayer in these races.
Right.
I mean, they mean business. This filly, obviously, the light bulb went on for her last time out, turning back in distance, plenty of bottom. Is she going to have enough speed setting up? Margie's money is awfully quick. I know I don't pick her in my top 4. She was on the worst part of the racetrack in that Maryland Million Lassie Tinery group. She could go a long, long way in here for Hugh McMahon. But I'm going 11. I'm going to go to the 10 for Shed. I like the way she improved second time out with the Lasix on for Grand Motion. She showed a nice little early burst to get up to the lead. I think she's going to keep Margie's money company. But Vente to go. What do you, Cesar Nambo, kind of a trainer that's going to fly under the radar. You're going to get an okay price because of that, and you can't fault her. Layla Noor, who beat her last time by only 2 lengths, came back to run a 72 in the Grade 2 Demoiselle up in New York.
That's strong, yeah. Vente to go. Hasn't done anything wrong here. 2-year-old filly by El Padrino with D.F. Gomez to ride. I pick her second. And what a nice race this is. Trainer Mike Trombetta has a 12-1 shot in here, who had a very impressive debut win here at Laurel Park. Ran an okay fourth last out in a tough open allowance race. Trombetta thinks she's sitting on a big race today. Forest Boys will ride. Here's what Trombetta had to say about Number of the Stars.
She's doing well. She probably lacks a little bit of experience, but she's certainly worth a try at this. I'll have to watch the track that day, but certainly, you know, these wintry tracks, you don't want to rush them along a little bit. They can be a little tiring. So we'll just let her find her way and see what she can do.
All right, well, breaking from the 7-hole, Forest Boys should get a nice stalking trip on the outside, just like she had for the debut win.
I'm not so sure what happened last time. She was trying to lug out, get out a little bit midway on the turn. Pimentel was fighting her a little bit. Maybe a slight equipment change will do a world of good for Number of the Stars. But highly competitive. We didn't even talk about Fanny Bell Fleming, who upset the Denver, that South Carolina race that we had here this year. So Fanny Bell Fleming, I mean, what was she? 2 lengths off of Limited View in the Lassie. Yep. Obviously improving. Another one that could be running like nice field here in the Juvenile Philly Championship.
All right, let's turn the page here. One more stake this afternoon. Race 8, the Howard M. Bender Memorial, $75,000 stake, 3 and up. This race for Maryland breds or Maryland sired horses. We're going 6 furlongs on the main track. Trainer Jeff Runco, he has Lewisfield in here. Runco, 1 win shy of 4,000. But let's take a look here at the morning line favorite. Video spotlight here on the Maryland bred. It's the Journey, 4-year-old son of Mineshaft for trainer Mike Trombetta. Let's take a look at this win. What a powerful win going 7 furlongs in the Chaladon last September.
Awfully strong. Just sat outside. Good fractions there, 22 and 4:45 and 4. And just with a mid-full 4 wide was Alex Cintron, and says, see you later, a Fleet Willie, who came back to run okay, right, out of that race.
Sure.
And it's the Journey is going to go ahead and widen by about 4 1/4 lengths under some pressure to the wire. Now shortening back to 6 furlongs off of that race. Keeneland, the horse just kind of thrown to the wolves. I thought that was an interesting spot, to say the least, going in that grade 2. But I guess he earned it off of that 96.
Sure.
They took the shot. But now I like the freshening that Mike's given. It's the Journey. Get this horse back together and working forwardly for the Howard Bender.
Yeah, nice half-mile bullet work here at Laurel December 4th. We caught up with Trombetta a couple mornings ago. He said this horse didn't like it was 25-1. It was a tough grade 2, number 1. Yeah. And also, he didn't think the horse liked the track down there at Keeneland. Here's what Trombetta had to say about your morning line favored for the Howard Bender.
Journey's good. He's pretty fresh. We took him to Keeneland and ran him, and he didn't seem to like the surface very much. So, you know, he's been training well here, breezing well, and I think he's coming to this in pretty good fashion. He's handy. If he breaks well, he can be wherever Julian's going to want to put him. So, you know, he could find himself on the front, or he could find himself just laying off the speed. So he'll dictate that once we get started.
So you hear what he said. You have a horse like that who has early tactical speed. You heard what he said. Pimentel can do whatever he wants, basically, in this race.
And you break down the internals, you see the races that he's been involved in. Would not surprise me in the least if he's on the lead or just off of it. He can kind of – it's not hard for him to go 45 and change, 46 and a tick or two, and do it within himself, where some of these other horses may have to work. Lewisfield's interesting, the 2. I know he's making a reach here coming out of the A other than, but if you look at the paths of Lewisfield, and it's the Journey, very similar the way they've kind of gone through the conditions and the numbers that they've run. So this Ronco runner, the blinkers have gone on, the light bulb has seriously gone on for Lewisfield, and you know, he's pretty quick in his own right. Maybe Showalter will kind of send, but Showalter's going to have to improve off of his races. Lewisfield, a good tracking trip from down inside.
I'm going with a big upset here. The one noteworthy peach. Let's see, the 5-year-old Maryland bred for trainer Gary Capuano in Nonstop Stable, coming off a long, almost 13-month layoff. You get the leading rider, Jevion Toledo, to ride. Toledo and Gary Cap, they blew it up a few weeks ago with Whirlin' Curlin in a stake race. I'm going to see if they can do it here with Noteworthy Peach. This is a nice horse, a 5-time winner here at Laurel Park. You look at that win July 2016 against a monster 3 other than Allowance Field, and he whistled that day by 2 1/4 strong, 86 buyer. That was going a mile. The 6 furlong distance isn't his preferred distance. He's going to need a setup, and he's going to need a fast early pace, and then Toledo's going to make a rally. The work tab looks good enough here at Laurel Park. You see a recent half-mile work from the gate December 1st, so I think Noteworthy Peach well prepared for the big comeback. You're going to get the leading rider, Toledo, at a monster price on a very nice horse.